Hi frequent flower subscribers, it's Sarah from Main Street Florist. It is a new year, we have a new set for our tutorials, and we have lots of new subscribers this month. We're so glad you're here. Let's go ahead and get started. So in this tutorial today, I'm going to show you how you're going to design with the flowers you received with your frequent flower subscription this month. This is just an idea. You certainly do not have to follow along and do the exact instructions that I'm giving you, but we always like to give you extra tips and kind of tricks as you go. So enjoy this process. It's about being creative. It's about enjoying just the joy and simplicity that flowers add to your home. And don't stress too much about what the final product will be. Just have fun with it. Okay, let's get started. I have got my vase here. I just chose just a simple white vase. With our delphinium, we've got a combination of sort of a darker blue, a light blue, and a white delphinium. So I wanted to coordinate my vase with that. You can use any sort of container you have at home. I do recommend that you do an arrangement though with fresh water rather than floral foam. Delphinium is one that once cut is gonna perform better in fresh water than in floral foam. Just it's easier for it to drink. You should also have received your packet of flower food, which you're gonna want to add to your vase. Depending on the size of the vase or container you're putting in, just make sure that you're looking at the instructions as far as the volume of water and how much flower food you need. The flower food is just gonna help keep bacteria from growing in your vase, which would shorten the lifespan of your flowers. You're also receiving myrtle this month. This is one of my favorites just for the way it smells. It has a nice kind of lemony scent to it. Love it. Okay, so I'm working with 10 stems of delphinium. I'm gonna count really quick before I get started. And this is a hybrid delphinium. Delphinium is also in the same family of larkspur, if you're familiar, and is an easy one to get to grow in your garden. This delphinium was grown in South America and shipped to us straight from the farm, so it's very fresh for you. And any linear flower like delphinium is going to bloom from the bottom up. So if you start to see some of your blooms at the bottom looking a little sad, it's not a problem. Just remove those blooms and still continue to enjoy the rest of your flowers. We're gonna start with our greenery. We're gonna start with our myrtle. And we have a lot of length on this. We're gonna cut it down a little bit. I'm looking at my vase and I wanna make it feel balanced. So I want to give it a good amount of height, just so it feels balanced against the height of my vase. I'm gonna hold up my stem and decide where to cut it against my table like that. Then any of the foliage that's gonna be below that water line, I'm going to remove. If that foliage is left on there, it's just going to add to the chances of bacteria and mold growing and shortening the lifespan of your flowers. So as we place our stems into the vase, I'm going to lace my stems so that I'm creating a grid. And if you're new at this, you're gonna create a little bit of a mess. So I'd certainly recommend having a trash can or a trash bag next to you that you can put your stems into. I'm not gonna keep all of my greenery at the same height. I'm going to vary it a little bit. And I'm even gonna use, so this one we cut in half, I can still use this stem. But I'm lacing my stems so they're crisscrossing into the container. That is gonna form a grid that's gonna help keep your flowers in place. If you've ever played with flowers before, you may have noticed that as soon as you start to move something, something else wants to shift and move. That grid is gonna help keep things in place. So I have all of my greenery in my vase. I even used some of the shorter stems that I had. Again, I removed the foliage, but by placing them into the vase, they're adding to that grid that's gonna help us lock things into place. So when we chose delphinium for the month of January, we did it because it's beautiful and it was available and it was a flower we hadn't had before. But as I started to do more research about it, I came to realize and came to learn that it symbolizes openness to new experiences and positivity. How perfect is that for the month of January as we start this new year? We all need a little bit of positivity in our life, and there's never any harm in being a little more open to new experiences. So let's get started with the delphinium. Since I have in a variety of colors, I've got majority blue in my pile here. I'm gonna start with the blue delphinium. You want to use something like a snippers like I've got, or you could use scissors or a knife. You just wanna make sure it's a nice clean tool. So again, you're not passing any sort of bacteria that's gonna shorten its lifespan. Again, I'm gonna measure against my vase. I'm gonna leave my length pretty long. I want this to be tall and dramatic and beautiful. It's always a good idea to look at your arrangement from all angles. We certainly can get used to the one way we're viewing it. Also, depending on how you're going to use it in a space, if it's going to be placed maybe at a dinner table and people are eye level, how does it look like from that perspective? If you're going to place it maybe up on a mantle, how does it look from looking below it? It's always a good idea to get a view from all the way around. And there we go. We have our simple and beautiful delphinium vase. Again, today we were using our delphinium and our myrtle. Thank you for joining us. If you have any questions, feel free to message us or in the comments of this video. And we hope that you've joined our Facebook group. That's a great way to share the designs that you created this month and ask questions and just kind of carry on the conversation about your frequent flower subscription. Thanks again for joining us.